This is Shay Veronica, and Juneteenth as a word is an insult. Juneteenth came about because when the 2,000 soldiers rode into Galveston Bay in Texas to tell the slaves, and there were about 250,000 slaves in that state. But when they rode into that bay to tell the slaves that they were free, they didn't know what day it was. They didn't know what month or year it was. And they were illiterate. And when they asked, Massa, what day is it? What month? What year? And the soldiers told them June 1865. That was too much information. TMI. Too much information. So what did they do? Juneteenth. Juneteenth. So when you hear the word Juneteenth, the first reaction is, what does it mean? We know of the 4th of July. We know of the 25th of December. We know of Easter, and we know all the other, we know of dates that sound like a date. But when you hear Juneteenth, it is reminiscent of a time where people could not resonate with the information that they were receiving, and they had to use some sort of term to remember a date. It's not a date that they call historic. It's not a date that they call monumental, no nothing like that. They call it Juneteenth, and it has withstood time because, like I said, President Biden on June 19th, 2021, made it a federal holiday, and it stands. Juneteenth stands. It is one of the most ridiculous words you will ever hear. And when you know the history of it, you wonder, why wasn't it revised? Why didn't they change that word with all the critical race theory issues and all the scholarly folks looking at history, Black history? Why didn't they change Juneteenth? Why didn't they? It seems as though anything that can be left behind as a means of embarrassment, they let it stay. The white man let it stay. Joe Biden knows what he's doing. He accepted Juneteenth because he knows that when people hear it and they ask, what is Juneteenth? You cannot believe it is a date. It is a date. And the reason it is Juneteenth was because although it was a monumental and a momentous occasion in history, the people that it happened to did not have the capacity to remember the date, and they call it Juneteenth. Shay Veronica.